Welcome. This isn't your average movie podcast. We go where no man has gone before.
You know what I'm craving? A little perspective.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Well, say something, goddammit! You're on television! You're live to the whole world!
Join us as we review movies new and old. You're tuned into Lupo's Cinema Symposium. Welcome, everybody, to your favorite movie podcast, Lupo's Cinema Symposium. It's been a minute. We're finally getting over this movie, the movie that was going to be a collaborative extravaganza that never was. But it's okay because we're here now, and we're going to discuss the movie Iron Claw. But first and foremost, guys, I'm Lupo. My two co-hosts, Rob and Christian. How are you guys?
I'm good, man. I'm very
Doing good.
Good to be
Glad
back.
to be back.
Great.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna just, because I'm a podcaster now, I get to use this platform responsibly. So I'm gonna be calling out our wrestling podcast co-host Abner for absolutely almost destroying this beautiful podcast. Okay, we were waiting on him so that we could talk about this movie, and then he just decided to never ever respond. Now that we got that behind us, it's time to look at the movie Iron Claw. It came out in 2023. I don't watch a lot of movies to begin with, so this is my first time seeing the movie. I don't know about you guys. You guys see it in theaters?
I did not. I saw it. I mean, it was only in theaters for like a couple weeks. It's kind of fucked up, but I saw it on digital. I rented it.
Am I crazy? Am I just completely out of touch? Was this like COVID time, or am I just...
No, but it was a weird timing of the release. They like dropped it like late, or no, I'm sorry, early January, right after it was eligible for the Oscars, so it wasn't even eligible. But it was like at the same time as a lot of that stuff, but it didn't technically count, so it was like a weird like afterthought of so it was in between the Oscar stuff, and then like January's notorious for like they dump stuff that they know is gonna fail in January, after like later January. So it was in a weird spot.
I also, for the first time, watched this on digital, and I've probably seen it about 3 times since we said we were going to do this podcast.
That was the other bit that was
just
hard. We kept rewatching it.
Yeah, I kept you know what though? Not the worst movie in the world to rewatch. There's plenty of worse choices that this could have happened to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's see. I just had a big old brain fart. Anyway, we should probably talk about the movie, huh? The plot of the movie. So,
Oh, that's what the podcast is for.
you're goddamn right. So the movie itself depicts pro wrestling a lot. Talks about the famous Von Erich family, straight out of a carnival. Like Barker, this dude just pumped out like 6 kids and was like, you know what, you guys are gonna be pro wrestlers. And so it documents their lives, their rise, and unfortunate curse, as they say. They say the family is cursed. And the first half of the movie, is a very happy tale of young, plucky do-gooders trying their best in the pro wrestling business until all of them, to an extent, ultimately succumb to the pressures of professional wrestling, drug abuse, alcoholism, death in various forms all comes for them, except for I think it's Kevin. Kevin's the oldest one, played by Zac Efron, who just gets to like be the sole survivor and just kind of, gets to make himself look cool in the movie the entire time, and he gets no bitches. But I know, okay, pro wrestlers be fucking. There's a scene in the movie where he talks about how he was clapping, and he's like, "I'm a virgin." Nah, bro, that's a lie. That's an editorial right there. That was for his wife. He was like, "No, honey, I didn't clap cheeks." But this is actually a very sad movie. not to make jokes, because basically, like, all of them end up dying. All of the two out of the
I was
three
gonna say,
brothers.
with the plot, you're right. It is like more. It's not as obviously it gets really dark later in the movie, but like there's definitely signs in the first half, like
Mhm.
it hints at where this is gonna go, kind of. And
I mean,
I
the
think
first
that's one of the strengths. It's really interesting.
the first opening dialogue with Zac Efron and the mother, um,
Oh
even
yeah,
like the when they're sitting at the breakfast table with the dad, like you kind of understand right away the family dynamic and like what kind of movie this is gonna be.
yeah.
So I agree with you there. Like even if you've never heard of these people, like it gets all the beats right and it gets the basic information across while also really telling a good story. So
Yeah, I was because I'm such a pro wrestling nerd, I did enjoy, like, there was a good solid effort put in to try and make everything as, like, realistic and as, like, accurate as possible. Like, just some of like the random shit, like, like the NWA World Class, just like the whole time period. I feel like they captured pretty well. Like, even though I obviously didn't experience it, I feel like they got like I feel like they were able to portray their what they were trying to do pretty well. Um,
It
speaking
did
of the
that thing.
NWA, Easy E was not in this movie at all, so I was very confused.
It did that thing. I think we've talked about it with like period pieces. Maybe we haven't, but like it does that thing that like some period pieces like have a really hard time with. Where this whole movie, like, it feels like you're in the time and place where you're supposed to be,
Mhm.
and not like on the Warner Bros. Lot, you know.
yeah.
So like it's really good in that way. And I do think the wrestling aspect to it, that's just another level. Like you can tell the people that made this like care, at least to some extent, about like they have reverence or at least respect for like
Yeah.
pro wrestling. And
Mhm.
like I thought that
Absolutely.
whole intro, I don't know if you guys remember, like the whole intro to the movie was like really really cool, and it's like just this wrestling. It's just showing basically what the dad could do in the ring, and it kind of adds this little layer of context of like for the rest of the movie about like, because while he's being a dick, at the same time
He
you're
was
like
like that guy.
there's a certain amount of respect. Like he was good at his job,
Hmm.
and I don't know.
You know who
I thought that was interesting.
did the wrestling choreography for the movie?
Ooh,
Carlito. No, I'm sorry.
interesting.
Chavo
Oh,
Guerrero. Oh my god.
yeah, wow. That, first of all, racist. Second of
Yep.
all,
Yep.
I wish it was Carlito. That'd be
I just
funny.
wanted to say Carlito's
yeah, it
name
would
so
be
bad.
funny.
I just saw him
I will
trying
say,
to hook up with
as much as like there are really good poignant points in the story, which we'll talk about later. I don't want to like get there too quickly, but one of my favorite scenes in this movie is when they're coming out to Tom Sawyer.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah,
the slide they do in the ring is so clean. Like I'm not even like the biggest wrestling fan, but I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
yeah, yeah. I agree. The other thing I liked about that, I mean, I don't know. Do we want to talk about that? There's something I liked about that sequence, that in regards to like the story, like how they frame that, where
Where Mike is finding it through like his love of music and like, I don't know, but go ahead. Yeah,
yeah,
sorry.
but also like it's not like glaringly obvious, but like you can tell from that, like David is definitely like way better than the other guys, like, or at least he's more successful to that point where like all like the magazines care
It's
about
Jerry
David,
Allen White.
and Terry
Yeah.
and Kevin are kind of afterthoughts.
Yeah.
No, David is Harris Dickinson, I think.
Oh, okay.
Because Kerry by that point is fairly new. Like you can tell, like from the movie, he's kind of like he has talent for it because he's an Olympian, obviously, but he wasn't like polished at that point.
All right. Oh, that
And
reminds me.
David was like the best on the mic and in the ring. He was the best combo of everything.
Yeah. That reminds me. I just wanted to say, Rob, we all know you're my favorite. then Jim, then Abner, but those ratings can always change.
Yes, yeah, always battling
Ratings
for
can
that
always
top spot.
change. He's like, I
Yeah, I
just
mean,
want.
Don't get
not
complacent.
Abner. His role can't change, but
Yeah, that one's gonna knock him down for a while. He might stay there. Put a pin in that. Poor dude just wanted to eat. He didn't care about none of this. He wanted to play. He wanted to strum on a guitar and eat. He
yeah,
wanted to be a wrestler.
Oh, Michael, yeah.
That- so I didn't think I thought that was going to be like the emotional high point of the movie. Obviously, I kept watching it. It wasn't, but him playing guitar after the surgery really got me.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to do like a plot overview and then talk about our points, or how do you want to frame this, Jim?
I think you know what. I think it's take it from the top, as they say in the business. So
Okay. Then can I open it up with a question? Is that okay?
hit me, hit us, hit everybody except women.
I'm sorry, that caught me off guard. Caught me way off guard, bro. Oh
Jesus
man.
Christ. Do we think the movie was trying to tell us something like it was 100% the dad's fault? It had a lot to do with wrestling, or do we think the movie was trying to say something about the curse itself or what the curse actually was? I don't know if I could have framed that better, but you understand my question.
I understand what you're saying. I think the sort of I feel like the curse is not real.
No, I don't. Yeah.
But the real curse is the generational trauma that's like keeps getting passed down, and like
That's what I got from it.
yeah, and that is what the real curse is. So they keep talking about the curse, but the curse is like it's not this magical thing. It's like a reality. It's like these people, it's just something that happens.
Just get set up to get put in that environment.
That's why I think Kevin's arc is so like beautiful, because like at least where the movie leaves off, it feels like he is gonna like finally like
and they
break
left
that
it.
curse for his kids.
He like
They
fucks
left it off at the most devastating place they could have left off. I was like a mess watching the end of that movie.
Yeah, it's hard not to be, like, really. I mean, this is one of those movies that I think. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how. I'll admit there's a certain type of movie that will make me cry easily, and this is probably like a good example of that. But like, I don't know how you could not like at least be emotional about like this. Like, it's so well executed.
And what really adds to it is I think this is going to be a career highlight for Zac Efron, because he just disappears into that fucking role. Like, you could see it's him, but you know what I mean. Like, he gave himself up to the character like flawlessly. Like, I don't know. I'm not an actor, so I can't say what he did, but like, for me, this was like the best thing I've ever seen him do.
I agree. I think this will be the best thing he ever does. I think it'll be hard to pass. That
he's not bad. But
no, but this is that
doing
good.
Movies like
I
this.
think, yeah, this does not come along like every day.
No, before this, I was like, he's okay, and now I'm kind of sold on the Zac Efron. Like, is a very talented human being.
And it's a perfect storm, because like an actor could be good, but like the role might not be right.
Yeah, because what else has he really been doing?
Yeah.
Prior to this was, comedies and stuff, which is fun. Like, he's fine in those, but like this really sells his chops a lot better.
I agree.
But no, that added to the emotional impact for me, because just like, I don't know, sometimes there is that degree of separation where you're like, I'm just watching an actor cry on screen, but like at no point was I like, this is Zac Efron. Like, I don't know if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, definitely. I agree.
So you both
cried
during the
part.
movie?
I got misty-eyed.
The first time I watched it, I did. The second time
You knew?
didn't cry, but I was definitely still like, wow, like I was moved by it. I guess I'll say that.
Yeah, and I watched it today, and I didn't cry, but I did, like, it did still hit.
Yeah, and that's usually a sign, like, because there are movies that are like emotional, and very vulnerable type movies, like dramas, but like sometimes once that seal is broken, like that first time you watch it and you watch it again, it's just like not the same. So like a sign of a really like resonant narrative is, I think, when it holds up on repeat viewings like that. Like
Yeah.
if the emotional message is still there after I already know every detail of the story, like that's something that's really special.
Yeah, and I think this is something I would classify as like they don't exist anymore because we don't use cable a whole lot. But like it'd be like one of those TV movies that if it was on, I'd be like, yeah, I'm probably gonna sit through some of this.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. It is one of
yeah,
those movies.
it might
Like
not make your list of like greatest movies of all time, but like you're like, oh fuck, Iron Claw's on. Like, yeah,
I agree. Yeah, I mean even that year, like it wasn't my favorite movie. But it is one of those movies like anytime it's brought up, like I just am like, what a fucking great movie that was, you know? Like it's hard, you know, it's so
yeah.
good, man. But so you want to go through the plot now, Jim?
Yeah, I mean we kind of hit the main beat of it. You know, it's a pretty I find the first, establishing bit of the movie. Basically, you see this family, you see how it went from the dad to him trying to make a life for his kids, the kids becoming adults and wrestlers, and there's like a couple of subplots. It's basically just the beginning of them each finding like themselves and having their own personalities explored a little bit as they first start their wrestling journeys. And um
Yeah, Kevin's up for the exhibition match. Kerry is coming home from the Olympics.
mhm,
David's making like his tag team debut with his brother.
mhm,
All that stuff. Like the first hour of the movie is really like setting up the second hour.
yeah,
Yeah.
Um, because I didn't realize this watching it the last two times. Watching it today, I was like, they fucking kill all the brothers in a single hour.
Yeah.
mhm.
Uh
The
I
hits just fucking when it happens, the hits just keep coming.
So Jim, you saw the movie once.
Yeah.
Okay. And Christian, you saw it
Three
how many?
times.
Okay.
Three.
So the more you've watched it, do you feel like a little bit like their family's sort of like a cult in some ways, like with the wrestling?
I have some opinions that I from today about like rewatch, and maybe I'll hit all of them. But no, but like to your point of generational trauma, which even the first time it's kind of unmistakable that that's there.
Yeah.
Um, you really grow to understand how these boys were raised. Um, and they are aware of like the way their dad is, and you can see it within the interactions between the brothers specifically. That they compensate for like their dad not taking an active role in their life outside of wrestling. Like I think they take the younger one to the concert, and like support his musical career, and they want to do other things with their brothers other than just be wrestlers. And their dad doesn't really foster like familial relationships, but like a competitive nature and like he's breeding wrestlers, he's raising wrestlers. So no, I don't want to say cult, but like you definitely the weirdness of it does hit the more you watch it.
Yeah. I
Even with
think
the
that
mom, sorry, but
no, you're good. You go ahead.
Kevin comes up to him and he's like, I want to talk about I think it's Kerry or maybe David. It's hard
David's
to
the
fucking keep him straight
So
sometimes.
Kevin's the oldest, then it's
Kevin and
Kerry.
Kerry, I know.
David is the tall guy. Michael's the musician.
Michael's the musician, so I think it is David. He's like, I need to talk to you, mom. I need to talk to you about like David and dad, and he's going too hard on him. And the mom just like stops him right there. He's like, "That's what your brothers are for." Like the mom is just as implicit as the dad. And I think the second time I watched it, you picked that up a little more.
I agree. Yeah. I think you're right. I think cult is probably too strong, but the only thing that made me feel that way is one of the things I really liked about this movie is how it kind of felt like the love story with is her name
Lily
Lily
James.
James, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. that felt like a catalyst to like really snap him out of like hey, there's more to the world than my family and wrestling, and like everyone. This is not necessarily like a normal, like the way we act. So
Yeah, I gotta
think
say
it's like
too.
a self awareness that you can see he lacks a little bit in the first half. In the first half, he's swallowed by like this commitment to wrestling. Like he has nothing else to his life basically except that and his
You could
brothers.
tell he's never like interacted with a person before, like on a like intimate level.
Yeah. And
Maybe
so I
outside his
thought all that
brothers.
was done really well. But I do think, I think Colt is probably strong, but like that's something to that extent is kind of how it. Just that they're, like you said, like the dad is very stuck in his ways, and the mom is, um, she's
Absent at
complicit.
best.
Yeah, and she's emotionally absent, but she's
Yeah.
also overprotective, which is like a really strange combination.
I think
Um,
she kind of understands more as horrible shit keeps happening to her family. What's how much of a role she played.
yeah. Well, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's hard for me to say. I
I
guess
don't.
I
You get a
thinking
little
about it
bit.
now. The end, you're probably right because
You get a little bit
she
when she's
starts to
talking about the
paint and stuff.
painting. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, you're right. Yeah. The
Um,
only thing I'm thinking of the one son's funeral, and like she
yeah.
starts crying because she's wearing the same dress. Which, on one hand, you can look at that like innocently, where it's sad you have to wear the same dress twice for your
Or
kids.
appearance wise, is she focused on?
Right. The other side is like, is she
That's
kind of
there.
vain and
That kind of supports like the rest of the movie. Like when she's shit talking Lily James at the wedding.
yes.
What does she say? She's like, it's see how nice she looks when she puts a little effort into her appearance, or some
Yeah, yeah.
fucking something horrible to say to a bride, like about a bride at their wedding.
What with which, by the way, what a horrible wedding. Not because of anything that happens during the wedding, but like just imagine like
was-
being at your wedding and your brother is like puking blood in the stall, and you're just like, oh man,
I
that's
guess
pretty
this
gnarly
is,
stuff.
really
It was a
treating you
good moment
bad.
though. It
It
was a
was,
good moment between the brothers. Like, but yeah, he's like, what
yeah,
did he say? He's like, damn, it's early.
yeah. But
But no, he
that
encourages him. He's like, you got to see someone about this. Like,
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think that was another thing that was effective in the movie. As much as he does kind of look out for his brothers, there's a line he kind of resists across, which is the line of like going. I don't know. I don't know exactly what the extent is, but like he could have, if he wanted to, he could have told somebody like
Yeah,
that
he's
that
just
happened.
he's
Like
just aware.
But
he could have
and I
done
think
more to
that
prevent his brother's death in many cases, but like even when like Carrie calls him, um, I just think it's not that it's his fault, but I think it's important for him to feel like there's that seed of like it is my fault a little bit. Like
yeah.
he has that guilt, following him everywhere
How could
because he
you not?
right
No matter what the circumstances.
yeah
I will say, I think it's probably the scene that got everybody when we were talking about like the emotional impact of this movie. I mentioned it earlier. The scene where he was playing guitar after his surgery, like that, and he realized he'll never be able to like do music. That got me. Um, but the scene that really got me is the end scene, which
oh
I think
yeah
probably most people, yeah. When he's playing with his kids in the yard and he starts crying, but you get Jeremy Allen White when he kills himself, um, and like meets all the brothers. That got me good too.
I think with the final scene, I was fine, but it's when he says I used to be a brother. It's such an interesting
Yeah.
way to convey that. It like caught me off guard, and that's what got me. It's like it's such a specific way to explain that feeling I guess he's having. It was very like I felt it. Like I felt where
Yeah,
he was.
no, I did too. Like,
Yeah,
which I think is the point.
yeah, it
Um,
worked.
it worked really well. Those kids, his kids are Jimmy. You would know more, but they're wrestlers now too, right?
Which is very interesting. We can kind of talk about like we were just talking about how he was like just involved enough, but can't get away. Like he was probably, he probably could have like really got involved in his brothers and helped them or whatever, but he ends up having kids that are in the pro wrestling business today, which is
Well, I don't think the movie
interesting.
was ever trying to tell us that wrestling was bad.
Oh no, I'm just saying it's like we're talking about like these cycles and bonds, and even though like he seemingly like got away from the curse or was able to like fuck off to Hawaii and live this like good life, in the end his kids are still like obviously nothing bad has happened to them, but it's like
Right. Like I
their
still
kids are
think
now professional wrestlers.
he probably had a passion for the sport.
Yeah.
I mean, it's his whole
Yeah,
life.
but I
Like,
get what he's saying though.
but yeah, like there's gonna be certain cycles you can't break. But to me, it was more of like escaping the way his dad did it to,
Yeah.
him and his brothers, and doing it right. I can't say
Yeah.
that he did that, but like if the movie went on, maybe that's what it would have explored.
I agree. To an extent, the movie's talking more about the generational trauma and like family situation, but like the wrestling is definitely like conveyed as a breeding ground for like this unhealthy competition. Like
Oh,
that's with the
absolutely, yeah.
steroids and all that. So like I do think like to an extent Jimmy's point makes sense. Like it is convenient for them to like it wouldn't serve the narrative for them to be like, oh yeah, and then his kids grow up wrestlers also. Not that it hurts it per se, but like I do
No,
think
I don't think they talk about it
yeah,
at
it's
all.
just no, they don't. I don't know. I guess I see what he's getting at with that, but I don't think it says anything one way or the other really.
No.
But I do like that aspect. Like there is something interesting about like when you're really really good at something, like and the how competitive you have to be to get that good. It's kind of like always going to be unhealthy to an extent. Like you kind of have to, yeah, you have to figure out your way of doing it. I don't know.
That whole like the whole bit with them trying to get the NWA World Heavyweight thing. They were always like trying to gun for this one belt. And then the second they get it, like dude gets into a motorcycle accident. Or like dude was gonna win the belt and he like died of internal injuries.
Yeah.
What do you think about the guy who played Ric Flair?
Dude, I was just gonna ask that. I want to hear what Jimmy thinks about that.
I thought he was I thought he was good, and kind of like the same thing too. Like if you're like a big enough pro wrestling person, you eventually reach that point where you're not just like watching like wrestling every day. You start to like get into the all like the nitty gritty like facts about like the behind the scenes and all that stuff, and that was like a whole big thing about how Ric Flair was basically just like that's how he was. Like he was just like a dude that would just run like 24/7, 365. Like he was just like, all right, cool. Like, yeah, man,
Let's go
nice
get fucked up.
match. I know we just like bashed our heads in, but like I'm gonna go drink till like 7. I'll sleep for like 2 hours. I'll like work out, and then I'm gonna go do another match. All right, cool.
It's interesting the time period too, because wrestling is so different than it is now.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's like a regional thing. Like I don't like there's no what would become WWF, WWE, like national wrestling kind of thing. It's very like they're from Texas and they do like
it's like a circus.
It is kind of like a circus.
It basically was. And one of the things when they were I don't know if they really do like flex how impactful the Von Erichs were with the Freebirds, but when they were like doing those matches with the Freebirds, that was like in the terms of like wrestling history, it was like so big that once that act got old, it like killed all of Texas wrestling for like 10 years. Like nobody wanted to like watch wrestling anymore in Texas. That's how like massive and famous the Von Erichs got. That and also like, the territory expansionists and all that of wrestling. But that's a whole different ball
Who do the
game.
Suns wrestle for now?
They're just I think they're just independent dudes.
Oh,
So
okay.
they're not like with any like big name that you probably have heard of. They're probably just kind of like GCW, if I had to guess.
Okay, something not. Oh yeah.
Let's see.
I
Well,
thought the Ric Flair guy though, going back to that, I thought that was really an interesting performance because it's not like a good impression necessarily. Like if you watch it, like
Mhm.
even if just his look,
yeah.
he doesn't really look like Ric Flair.
No, and I
But
think
there's
like
something
a direct
about-
impression probably would have hurt the performance.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like when people do Nixon.
Right. There's something about he just got the vibe really
Yeah.
right in a really cool way. Like it's almost like Tom Hanks in the Mr. Rogers movie. I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys saw that. It's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
a similar thing there. But
The vibe.
I
is
also
there.
just liked how they portrayed Ric Flair. Kind of like what you guys were saying. I
Oh.
like the characterization with
Wait a
that.
second.
Also like a
Hold
really
on.
important character moment for Kevin.
And
yeah.
it did give me the feeling a little bit almost like where you're watching Spider-Man and then like Iron Man shows up. It's really cool. It's really cool.
Wait away.
Ric Flair, I need you to
So
distract.
That's
Kang.
Ric Flair.
I
Woo.
found them. They're still called the Von Erichs, but they wrestle for Abner Hold Your Breath AEW.
Whoa.
Yeah, they are
Real grabs.
in Ring of Honor. They're 2/3 of the reigning 6-man tag champs with Dustin Rhodes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Dustin Rhodes.
Oh, the
This-
Sun?
Yeah.
Oh wait. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The
Wow.
Stardust, right? Stardust.
Yeah. But I believe
Fuck.
they
Is it Gold Dust or Stardust?
so there's two.
Probably
So
a Goldust.
Goldust was
Stardust
the
is
dude that
Cody
was-
Rhodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stardust was Cody.
See, I know a
Goldust was
little bit.
Dustin.
Yeah.
They've won 4 different tag belts, keeping that tag team legacy. The one dude's 6'4".
Legacy.
Shoo.
Well, it's funny. That's funny though. I would. I guess. See, I'm comparing the movie to real life. I don't know how they were in real life, but like in the movie, like Zac Efron's short. I wonder if that guy was really that short because like the brother's really tall, the dad's.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Let's see. This is why we have he is 6'2".
So he was short for the role, I guess.
Yeah,
But he nailed.
Also, he's so broad. He probably
Yeah,
looked
maybe.
a little shorter than he was because he's
Yeah.
fucking huge.
Also,
he's just-
I forget
God,
if
how
it's
much do you think he
Dixon or
weighed?
Dickinson, but
Dude,
Harris
David
Dickinson is
is-
also so
David
tall.
has to be like 6'5".
He's really, really tall. Yeah.
Fucking huge.
I wonder,
So
I wonder
that
how much
probably-
Zac Efron weighed for this movie.
I think I was hearing some things like the training for this was very,
I remember, yeah. Before it came out, I remember hearing about him gaining all this weight for this wrestling movie, and like
everybody was like,
it,
what?
almost like how The Rock. You see the ads for like The Rock and like getting his quote unquote serious role, and like he's wearing all stuff. It almost feels like that marketing was ripped straight from this movie.
So to put it in perspective, I don't have a ending weight, but when he signed on for this movie, he was 135 pounds.
Wow,
He had
that's
to be
crazy.
like 225.
207.
Wow.
There you go.
Still.
That's
Yeah, that's
like fucking 70 pounds of fucking muscle is insane.
That's insane.
That's like Christian Bale level dedication. Because he's always been ripped, but he's never been bulky like that.
No, yeah, it's different.
Because I remember seeing pictures of
That's-
him before like the movie came out and be like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah.
Well, that's like Batista. Batista was super bulky for like his whole life. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
it's like he's still in good shape. It's just like
After
weird
I've heard
seeing
him talk
him.
about that too.
Yeah, it's weird seeing him with all like so much less weight. But like, I don't know, man. It's just hard to be that bulky sometimes.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
working out every day for at least 4 hours a day gets old pretty quick.
I'm sure he doesn't look like that anymore. I mean, probably not.
Yeah, it's you lose that shape just as fast as it takes to gain it.
Where were we? I don't even remember what.
I think honestly we kind
Just
of
talking about
I
how
talked
ripped-
about the first bit and then we kind of jumped all around, which is fine.
That's okay. Yeah.
But I think we
We
basically
points.
hit all the beats on the drum.
Did we give a rating? Do we want to give rating?
We can give rating. We can give rating. I would smash.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd put this on my. I usually wait till the podcast records to put my rating on, but let me see if I have one.
Okay. Well,
have
I'll
one.
you can.
I have one in mind, but
So I gave this a 4.5 out of 5. I really like it. For context, I have a list of the top movies of 2020. It's in the top 10. I don't have it in the top 5, but it probably could be. But it's good, man. I really like it.
oh, I found my. I saved a rough draft of it.
Good.
I also gave this movie 4.5, and that's hasn't changed after watching it 3 times.
Did I
Yeah,
jump
same.
the gun and just kind
I
of
watched it twice, not 3 times, but
No, I didn't.
it was just as good the second time, if not better.
I gave it 4 out of 5. I did find the movie good. I found it enjoyable. The beginning bit, maybe you guys appreciate it more because you guys are more like tuned into like thematic elements and all that. Like I appreciated the beginning, but I found it more boring than anything.
It's a long setup. I'll give you
Yeah.
that.
So
Yeah.
it's the ending half of the movie it does deliver, and it is super impactful and emotionally jarring and whatever that word I'm trying to say is. But it definitely is the back half is the strongest bit, and that carries a lot of the movie for me. It probably would have been a 4 out of 5 if I had cried. I did not. It did make me
Okay,
feel,
okay.
but so that's where my 4 is going to be.
I'll say this about the beginning, though. One of the things for me that made it so effective was I was because I didn't know. I don't like their story. I didn't know if they became champion, didn't become champion. Like I knew nothing about. I saw this, so I was like actually really invested in the championship chase.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to
think-
see what would happen in the ring.
Part of that for me is I agree with you 100%. And it's because it's not a biopic about someone hyper famous where you already know
Yeah.
everything that's gonna like I am not like I think we've had this talk. Like I'm not like the biggest biopic person in the world. But this being like a lesser known person who's only really famous for like super fans and like people who are familiar with wrestling,
Yeah.
I think it's a great fucking picture. It really
I
is.
agree. To support that, there's a movie called I, Tonya, and I think people that live then probably.
I like
but,
Tonya.
me being someone who like doesn't know that story at all, and like just watching that movie, like that's like the same thing. And like I think you're right. I think there's something about a biopic where, like, it is based on something that's true, that's real. It like gives it that, like, authentic feeling, but like you just don't know what's gonna happen. It's like, yeah, I really like that. Rather than like, as good as it was, like a complete unknown. I
Yeah.
know the bullet points. Like there's a certain amount of like mystery that's lost.
We've all heard about Bob Dylan going electric, or a lot of people have. You know,
Right.
how many people have heard of the Von Erich brothers and
Yeah.
the Von Erich curse. Probably not as many.
No.
But I like the idea, even like conceptually behind the film. It's like, hey, not the most famous people in the world, not the most well known. No one's craving this biopic, but like their story deserves to be told, and Kevin's story deserves to be told. And I appreciate that this movie was made.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that was
Anything
basically
else there?
the guy that wrote the film. That was basically his motivation. It was like, yeah, this made me sad, and I think there should be a movie.
So I know Sean Durkin directed it. Did he write it also?
Yes.
Interesting. I think he is a big wrestling fan, if I remember hearing him talk about that.
I think I've heard him say something to the same effect.
And I think, dude, I think as from a directing standpoint, I think he did an awesome job. Like I was shocked at like some of the things they did visually.
I've only seen The Nest. I think that's the only other movie I've seen by him.
I've never seen one of his movies. I don't think. Let me see. No, I've never seen any of these.
You haven't seen Doris?
No. I'm
Is
gonna
that a
watch
movie
them,
he did?
though,
I don't know.
apparently. It's a 23-minute short. Jimmy is capping. He didn't But yeah, no, I never saw any of these.
He did.
Is that
I think it
Jude
was.
Law? Jude Law's in
it
The
was-
Nest? I'm watching
yeah.
that. Jude Law, friend of the show. Friend of the show.
I'll save my opinions for that for later. I don't. So like Robbie knows this about me. Like I will not say a whole lot about a movie until both of us have watched it. Just because like I don't want it. Like I don't think you're a very
I get what
you're a very hard independently thinking human being. But like I don't want to influence him at all.
I get where you're coming from because like there's something about when somebody tells you like something like they're like, oh, you have to watch this. It kind of always makes me go in with like the wrong attitude. I'm always like all right, this movie has something to prove, which is not fair.
And I think we both have different criteria for what makes a movie good or enjoyable.
Yeah.
But like usually I'll say, hey, I enjoyed this, you should see it. And that's usually where I leave it until both of us have seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, anyway, watch The Nest. Tell me what you think.
Yeah.
I will.
We'll have to
Maybe we'll suggest it for the pod.
Maybe future pod.
Future pod, possibly.
Let's see. What else about this movie? Did it win any awards? I don't think so.
No, it wasn't eligible. If you listened earlier, I explained it,
Yeah,
Jim.
but all that is nonsense to me. Like, I was looking at a fucking article earlier, like as in like 2 months ago when this pod was supposed to come out. I was gonna have this big bit that I wanted to talk about where like, what's like the app that film reviewers for the Grammys use? There's like some app where they have to like.
Oh, I know.
They have to watch the movies.
Prove they watched it. Right.
Yeah, and they're like,
Yes,
they're like talking about no, like I'm just gonna like play the movie on mute and not watch it. And it's like what the fuck? What is the point of being a film reviewer or like being a part of an award nominating process if you're not gonna watch the fucking movie?
Apparently, they said this for next year. To vote on a category, you have to watch all the nominees. So,
which should have been a rule already.
I thought that my impression was that they were like dudes like you guys that would just watch movies like.
At least that's the problem. I mean, not that it's a problem because like, who says we deserve or we know better, like to be the people to vote on that stuff? But like, the thing is, it's not like critics that vote the Oscars.
You should be able to have heard everyone out before you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like a lot of the Academy, I think, is like actors, directors, like people like that, like people in the industry. So like those people obviously are busy to an extent, but also like we know not all those people are that busy. Like you can watch a couple fucking movies.
If it's your job,
love it. Yeah.
If it's your job.
And you're like, nah. Like, I feel like the thing too is especially the way that they were like, well, I'm actually gonna, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna go out of my way to not watch it.
Yeah, I hate that.
Why? What? You don't have to vote. You don't have to vote.
Literally, you can just not vote.
Abstain.
Because I really like if I can watch the movies, you can. It really is not that hard. It's because I mean, at most, say you just do Best Picture.
It's 5
It's like 10 movies. Most of the time, all the best actors, best actresses, they're in those movies. Maybe there's like 1 or 2 extra related to Best Picture. Like, it's not that much to do. And I don't know. People just don't do it. I don't get it. But
I don't get it either.
I will say,
yeah,
too,
I don't know.
I just think that is it like, is the music industry that way? Like, how do they do
I have no idea.
Grammys?
No, because it's way quicker just to listen to a song.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you just pop a song in. The thing about like film is like an art is there's the level of like the time commitment, and that is a barrier to some people, I think. You know.
Yeah.
And then even like further, like sometimes stuff has subtitles, sometimes it's black and white, and like we have friends that like I'll talk about movies with Jim, and like it'll be the littlest thing that'll turn them off and be like, I'm not gonna watch that.
Yeah.
Like it could be like anything. There's just, which I get to an extent. If it's not your like.
Yeah, it's your
You're not
free
passionate
time.
about it.
Yeah.
Like you just want to watch whatever.
Yeah.
Like you know what you like.
Like Ev,
So.
our roommate, loves Young Sheldon. No matter how much I accost him, no matter how much I openly laugh and point at him, he says, "I'm still watching Young Sheldon," and I appreciate it. I almost appreciate the honesty. He'd rather watch Young Sheldon than some true cinema like The Big Bang Theory. But
Oh my!
I get exactly what you're saying.
The other thing you were talking about box office. If I remember right, I'd be interested to see what Reality says. I remember from Twitter people talking about the movie quite a lot. So like word of mouth for this was good at the time, and I felt like it did well box office. So I'm curious what it says the box office was versus the budget.
So I looked. It says the budget was $15.9 million, and box office was $45.2 million. So it did make some Skrilla.
Yeah, I think that's good. So I think it has to make its money back times 2. I could be wrong about that to break even, because marketing and stuff, budget just covered
I think you're
the cost
right.
of just
Sounds right.
Yeah, it's something along the line. So, but making 45 million, that's good.
Yeah.
That's more than double. So.
Apparently, on the actual release itself, it was not that good though. Like,
the first week.
It released alongside Migration, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, and Anyone But You. Was projected.
Well, the thing with movies like that, it's never going to be the type of movie that grosses 100 million its first week.
Mm-hmm.
So like everything's in context, but I do think like kind of what we were talking about, the way they marketed it and also the release timing, they kind of boned the movie, and it kind of succeeded despite all.
Right.
So the fact that it made 45 million is kind of like in itself.
Is this I don't know how many A24 movies we've seen so far, but this is an A24 film.
Yes.
I don't know. Are they just like go with the sauce? Like they just make a bunch of movies that I see, or this is just a coincidence? Have we seen a bad A24 movie?
Yes.
Yes. I think they make a certain type of movie that other studios neglect.
Take more risks.
Yeah, and other studios neglect that. So every time you see it, and they're very artists, like what's the word? I guess
oriented, focused.
So, yeah, oriented. And I think it's refreshing when you see like movies like that versus like studio, like as good as like Thunderbolts was, like these like they're a different kind of movie for a different
Yeah.
kind of audience. And even though there are bad A24, like you can, the difference is apparent because
Yeah. Its first
of how they make
animated
it.
project, bro. Has Been Hotel. Remember I told you about that?
Oh my, that might deserve its own
they
fucking
bought-
pod.
They bought the rights to do the 8-episode season premiere on Prime Video. Has Been
Oh,
Hotel
man.
was like a thing on YouTube that I saw that I was like, yo, Rob, like I think this is gonna be really good. And Rob fucking hated it. And he hates it to this day.
Yeah.
And then
I must
and
have
then
missed that one.
It's because I went out of my way to just text him and like not send it to the group chat. Because I was like, oh, because I already knew it was kind of like I knew everybody else was gonna enjoy it, but I thought Rob, being the artistic, open-minded individual that he was, would embrace its quirkiness, and he was like, "This shit is fucking ass."
Listen, I'm all for quirky and weird, but like if you suck, you suck.
Yeah.
And-
So
Power to the people that like that. It was not for me. It was not for me. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I for the movie tapped out. I don't have much else.
yeah, I think we hit.
Regard to that.
I think we hit everything. I will say the one
Time
award
to-
that it did get was that the National Board of Review put it as one of their top 20 films of 2023, putting it amongst the likes of Barbie and Oppenheimer. So, in the end, you know, is it really that good, or is it really that bad? But
Barbie was fun, but it was no, anyway. We can talk about that another day.
Maybe I don't know. It might be a big stretch to ask me to watch Barbie. I don't know.
No, yeah.
Nah,
well,
it's-
no, it's good.
I'm a man. I'm a
You should,
man.
bro.
I don't watch
Nah,
Barbie. I'm
you
a
should.
man.
You should. Now I am going to
God
recommend
damn
it.
Well, I guess we should.
It was a good movie.
We
Dude,
should.
hold on. You skipped like some movie that me and Christian were going to see Sing 2. Please.
Wait.
Don't try and play this.
Wait
Don't
a
play
second.
this. You saw Sing 2 in theaters.
When did I
Or
see
Sing,
that?
whichever one. I don't know.
There was only one, right?
No, there's 2.
They made a second one? Well, I
Yeah,
think that was
hell
also
yeah.
when I was whipped. I don't think this really counts. That does not get, that's a whole different era. But anyway.
What?
So, we could pick a new movie right here, right now. But low key, I think that we should not tell the people what our next movie is.
I'm okay with that too.
I think we should tease them.
But You
We
want
can
to
do
hit
it.
any topics, Jim, or do you want to just keep it to the movie? and
You
that's
know,
it?
the Pope.
We can
Uh,
skip it. Not the Pope.
This is a movie podcast.
Okay. No, I had basically my main gripe was that like thing with the Oscar viewer requirement thing. That was
Okay.
really the only thing that really grind my bones. Did you guys it's been a while, so I'm willing to sit back and relax. What movies have you guys seen?
Oh shit! All
Yeah, all right.
right, or if you're ready, you can go first.
Yeah,
So-
I'll take this one because my intake hasn't been as new, so I don't have a whole lot to say. I did see Sinners. We could talk about that. That could be a pod in and of itself. I will say I've seen it twice, and my opinions have slightly changed. But that's all I'll say. Most recently, honestly, I've been kind of busy, so I've been rewatching all the fucking X-Men movies. It's interesting. I think every X-Men movie has something cool about it, but very few of them are like good. And yeah, that's really all I got. I've been watching a lot of TV. I've been watching Mobland,
Whoa.
which I think did I turn you onto that, Robbie, or had you
Yeah, I've
already
been
seen
watching
it?
that too. You and my brother were raving about it, so I watched the first episode, didn't like it, back to it this weekend, and yeah, I'm into it. It's great.
I watched the first two, and then I gave it a break, and now I'm watching it again as well. I think I'm like an episode behind. But not a whole lot of like new movies. I've been kind of in like my comfort cycle.
Yeah, I'm the
But
same.
but yeah, that's what I've been up to.
You want to plug your letterbox or?
Yeah, my letterbox is at Skip Sparky. I think I write good reviews. That's just me.
They're always active, I will say.
Mine is at Rob Brett, and I write long reviews or sometimes short if I. I also have been watching a lot of TV. I watched, and I've kind of been in the same space. Like I haven't watched as I usually do, but I have watched a good amount of movies. Shows though, I watched what that John Hamm show on Apple TV.
Oh, how is that?
Your Friends and Neighbors. That's what it's called. It is surprisingly like when I saw the trailer, I was like, "This is gonna suck," and it actually came on after I was done another show. I forget what show. And it started playing the first episode, and I was like, not gonna watch it. But then I watched the first episode, and I could not watching the day. And it's not that it's like this amazing show. I just really was vibing with the characters and like the story. Just think
Yeah.
it was just a fun show to watch.
Oh, that reminds me. I think we should take Jim to see the Tim Robinson movie.
What is that?
Oh yes, I agree. We should do a pod on that.
Is
I
that
think we should do it in the fucking parking
Yeah.
lot after the movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Is that the bodybuilding dudes?
No, it's
No.
different. We can do that too, though.
I keep
Yeah, I would
seeing
do-
TikTok clips on that one. I want to see that one.
Movies I watched. I talked about that. Let me think. All right, yeah. I did see Sinners. I did like it. To keep it brief, because we can talk about it a lot, but I definitely think it's flawed, and that it's getting a little, tiny bit, a lot of bit overhyped. But it is a fun action movie that it's a good time to see in theaters. Like I would never tell somebody not to see it. Like I recommended it to a lot of people. But it's definitely, I'm shocked at how many rave reviews I'm seeing, to the extent that they're raving about it. But speaking of Tom Hardy and Mobland, I watched his new movie Havoc, which is directed by Gareth Evans, who did The Raid, if you're familiar with that. I had reasonable expectations because obviously I loved Tom Hardy. I knew of Gareth Evans, and I'm always down for an action movie. This was a straight to Netflix movie. This movie sucked. It was really boring. The action felt like really. I mean, it's not bad, the action, but coming from Gareth Evans, I expected a little bit more.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I watched Warfare. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah. Tell us about that.
I don't understand why it was made. I'll just leave it at that. It's such an it's such an oversaturated genre, and he adds nothing new to it. And I'm a little disappointed he made it, to be honest.
Which guy, the soldier or Alex Garland?
Alex Garland. Even if I don't like all of his movies, I like every single one of them has at least a unique and interesting premise.
Yeah.
This one did not.
Yeah.
It's just it's not poorly made. It's not bad by any means. It's just more of the same when it comes to war movies, especially Iraq, Afghanistan era war movies. Where it's just we're pinned down in some urban setting.
Yeah.
How much can you contribute if you're not going to do an original story? And I don't really think he did. Also, I will say, not to spoil anything, but 90% of the movie, there's an injured soldier who's just screaming the entire movie. And it's not something that would normally bother me, but it was a little overdone in this.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just wasn't my favorite. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I'll blow through a couple other ones. A movie I did see was My Hero Academia Year X, which is the newest movie installment of that, which they have just gotten worse. as they've come out. At this point, they should just not make them. And
I think you
I
need
don't
to
know if
hop
they
onto a different
are.
anime.
What's that?
You need to hop onto a different anime.
I like the show. The movies are like the first one was awesome, actually, and then the second one was fine. Third one was like,
I
And
saw
then
the
this
Demon
one was
Slayer
just
movie
bad.
in theaters. That was like a fucking awesome experience.
How did that smell?
not bad.
Queen and
Which
Slim
probably
didn't
means I
really
was
like
the stupid
that.
one.
I saw Gran Turismo, which we saw. I mean, speaking of our pod, we watched Elysium, Neil Blomkamp. This is a Neil Blomkamp movie. I talked about how I'm not a fan of his, but that movie was good. Gran Turismo,
I'll have to check it out.
I did see both Den of Thieves, Jim.
Let's go.
I watched them for you, and they were mid.
I can honestly, I was kind of starting to get lulled out. I am willing to fucking pop this recording back in, and we could go and do both movies right now. Like I haven't
seen them.
I love Den of
What?
Thieves.
Den of
I love the
Thieves.
first
Hell
movie
no.
specifically,
Den of
not the
Thieves. Den of
second
Thieves.
movie. I was disappointed
I
by
am
the
not
second
talking
movie.
Den of Thieves right now.
He fucking does like he
How about this?
spends
How
the
about
whole
this?
first movie talking about like, oh, like I'm a good guy that does good things, and sometimes bad things got to be done by good people. And then in the
rather
second
watch
movie,
Red.
he just
I have
fucking
an idea. How about Den of Thieves 1 and 2 review at 200 episodes?
1 million subscribers.
I just
Whatever comes first.
We can honestly dump. We can dump the second one because I don't even want to talk. Actually, you know what? We should.
Yeah, I want to talk about that one
We
more.
haven't watched a bad movie yet.
Yes, we have. Yes,
What?
we
Yes, we
have.
have.
What?
I don't remember, but we have.
Yeah, I was gonna say this. Hold on. let me-
Elysium was bad.
I liked Elysium.
We watched Dirty Harry. That was our first podcast.
That was
bad,
good.
too.
That was good. That was good. You're haters. No, but like we need to watch like a movie that
Yeah, we do need
like,
to do bad. Yeah.
like something that
You're right.
like we need to
Jim,
we need to get
how
the
about
rage
this?
bait going.
You need to be the guy to suggest the bad movie.
I can
Oh, is
suggest-
that because
We're-
is it
we're
because I just
relying on you.
I just keep bringing
We're
up bad
relying,
movies?
we're relying on
Is
you.
that-
No, I can suggest like weird movies that Jimmy would definitely think are bad, which probably are objectively not great. But like, I don't know if I could. I mean, I could suggest. Let me look at my list.
I'm gonna have a hard time ever suggesting a bad movie because I forget about them as I watch them. They go out of
all
my.
right.
I don't linger
All
on them. Real quick, last couple of things. I watched The Four Seasons with Alan Alda. It was a nice little movie. I love Alan. Shout out Alan Alda. He's great. That's all. Last movie. And there's a show based on that movie now out. I have not watched it.
Jason Tatum is in a wheelchair.
Okay.
That's all I have to say. I didn't watch anything. I watched a bunch of the Batman, the 2006 one, the one where he's got kind of like the rounded face. If you know, you know. So that, and then so in place of any movies that I will see, I plucked 2 Letterboxd reviews for Thunderbolts, and I'm gonna read it now.
Oh no.
4.5 stars. My depression would disappear too if Florence Pugh held me.
That's pretty good.
And then
That is a good one.
3.5 stars. Wife won't speak to me after voting Bucky Barnes for Congress. Says, quote, he killed John F. Kennedy, unquote. I just think it's time for an outsider in Washington. Am I the asshole?
That's a good one. Oh yeah, we didn't mention we did both. Me and Christian saw Thunderbolts.
All right,
in
can
theater.
I do one then?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
This one's for Sinners. It says, finally, they cast Michael A. Jordan in something. 4.5 stars.
You liked Thunderbolts, right, Christian?
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, I liked it too. It was very good. Everybody
I
go
loved
see
it
that.
in relation to, what Marvel has been putting out.
Yeah, I think it was a good like comic book movie. It felt like a comic book
Great.
come to life.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, very much so.
My
A
favorite
fun
part was
like comic book
Taskmaster.
team-up movie. But yeah, I think that's yeah, that's all.
Yeah. I'm looking
So we
through.
don't want the people to hear what we're watching.
I don't think
Be
the
sur-
people deserve it. I don't think they
No,
deserve
I
it.
don't think so either. Too
Mm.
much
Yeah.
pressure.
I haven't
Sorry.
seen any type of, worship on social media. I haven't seen any positive comments, so
Do we
until
have a,
we see
do we have a
that,
name? Do we have a name for our people?
cucks.
Okay.
The cucks aren't cucking. Okay? So,
Maybe
once
we could
they
think of something
start,
better, but yeah.
Yeah, I
once
feel like we could.
I don't know, what do you filmomatics?
What about something from Elysium,
Hmm.
the bald Matt Damon,
Our
The
Dirty Harrys.
ball.
the bald Matt Damons.
The
Our
Oh,
Dirty
ball.
who's the
Harrys.
guy in Heat? What's the guy in Heat?
Oh yeah.
We'll call him that guy.
I was scrolling through the Prince of Egypt reviews just now because I kind of wanted to see what people say, and somebody said 4 stars. They should have just turned all the first sons into gay furries with an emoji with hearts. The eyes
right,
for
well,
hearts.
I guess that marks the end of our podcast.
Yeah, time
Yeah.
to wrap it up, Jim. We're
Sorry.
where the wrap sign is on.
Sorry for
No.
all our little William
Anyway,
Fitchners out there.
So now I want to talk about a very
William
important topic
Fitchners.
near and dear to my heart. The Pope.
Don't want to watch.
It's like realistically, I know what it is. You don't want to watch Star Wars.
I don't want to watch After Earth.
Oh. Oh wait, did he say After Earth?
Yeah.
Dude, I will kill myself. Oh my god.
All right, ready?
It could be
I'm not
fun.
even joking, bro. That
3,
movie is not
2,
even fun. Bad.
1. Come on, baby.
If it's
fight.
Pottersville, I'll shit
Don't.
myself.
Oh my god.
Don't. I swear to God, myself. I'll quit
Guys,
the
are you
pod.
free? Are you free tomorrow? I need to watch this
quit.
movie with you guys.
I will quit.
I'm so
What is it?
fucking. Let's
What-
go.
Tell me what it is.
What's Pottersville?
The fuck is Pottersville, bro? What is this podcast? No, I'm excited. What is that though?
I don't think I should say anything.
Good.
Don't look it up.
You don't
We'll
have to.
just
You don't
watch
have
it.
to. I won't.
I will say, it. The main star of the movie is Michael Shannon.
Okay.
Interesting.
That's our first movie. We're going to roll for our second here. The wheel, it spins away. What it gives, what it say. Oh my god.
No, Fantastic Four.
Oh my god. It was either Fantastic Four.
is
If
it?
it was, yeah. It was Fantastic Four or A Millimeter Away from After Earth.
I'm actually okay with either.
Which
So,
Fantastic Four are we watching?
I don't know. You tell me. Which one do you want to do?
I have
We could do
nice.
any of them. I just
I
want to
have-
do one of them.
I have nicer things to say about the 2005 one, but it could
What
be
about the sequel? What about Silver Surfer?
from. I don't know. I haven't seen that movie in a billion years.
Jim, which of the three do you want? You want the original
There's four. There's four.
Silver Surfer or Fan Four Stick?
Fan Four Stick sounds fun.
Okay, Fan Four Stick it is.
Fan Foreskin, more like.
Dude, I'm so. This is actually like